Hello, everyone. Now, I'm trying something new with the new software, and so I really don't know if this is going to work. I'm going live to the Facebook group and also trying to go live to YouTube. All of these technologies these days is just, amazing what you can do. But I would love if you can hear me live in Facebook land. If you can drop me a comment just so I can make sure that I'm coming through and all my. Actually, I didn't even check my mic. Yep, I think I'm on the right mic. But if you can hear me in Facebook land, just drop me a comment so I know, because I'm coming from another software. And also, if you're tuning in from YouTube, which I've never done live to YouTube before, let me know as well that you can actually hear me over on YouTube, because I don't even know where to check comments, but I think I can see it in the Facebook group. Anyway, I'll get started, and if it doesn't work, I can come back and do this later. Anyway, but today I am happy to be jumping on here to share with you about another question I get asked so often. I get asked lots of questions, and they're great because I can just come on here and I can share with everyone, because I'm sure that if someone asks me a question, that other people are wondering the same thing. Now, before I answer that question, though, I want to hear from any of you that are tuning in live, because firstly, I don't know if it's going through. Secondly, if you're listening live, just comment below where you're tuning in from, because I also love to know, is everyone watching from the US, where I am, or are they watching from overseas? What state you're in? I am in the cloudy state of Seattle, and it's raining and cloudy now, which I'm not surprised at all. Now, in this particular question was asked to me by Christina. She reached out to me via PM and said this to me. My daughter has been struggling with constipation for years, and her doctor is suggesting Miralax. I've heard some pretty bad things about Miralax, so I wanted to hear your thoughts on what I should do. Help, please. Now, Christina, this is such a great question, and it's one I get asked a lot, and I wanted to address it here. So, let me know in the comments if you've ever been told or heard that Miralax is safe to use on a regular or semi-regular basis. Just give me a yes in the comments if you have. Now, parents tell me all the time that their kids' doctors have suggested use of Miralax for mild constipation. And honestly, between you and me, I just don't get it. If you are told to give your child Miralax for mild constipation, don't just walk, run to a new pediatrician. You guys, there are other safer options out there. My professional opinion about Miralax is that, yes, it might help with constipation because it works by attracting water to the stool so it can pass more easily. But, and there's a big, big but, what frustrates me is that it is never going to get to the root cause that is causing the constipation in the first place. Additionally, as I said, there are other safer options to try instead, and I'm going to share a few of those with you in a second. Now, here are some things to think about. Constipation, if any of you are listening, is not normal. Paula, thanks for commenting. Yes, constipation is not normal. So many people act like it's normal for a child to be constipated. It's not. Seriously. So instead of going first to medication, think about what might be causing the constipation. What is the child's diet like? Could there be a food sensitivity? Is the child eating gluten and dairy? Begin by cleaning up the diet and get rid of gluten and dairy. That alone, honestly, might be enough to get the constipation under control. Constipation means there is something likely deeper going on in the gut that's causing the constipation, and using Miralax will not help you figure out what's causing the constipation in the first place. And as soon as you stop it, it's going to come back. So, what's the point? Now, there are significant side effects associated with Miralax, which a lot of people don't actually know about. Um, so ask questions. Do the research. Don't just blindly trust your doctor if they are suggesting this without exploring other possible options. I'm going to pop a link into the comments of a news article that talks about some of the side effects of Miralax. So make sure and give that article a read too. Now, there are lots of natural remedies for constipation. I am not against medication, and it certainly has its time and place, but it should not be the first port of call with mild constipation, not when there are so many other options that are safer out there. So, what are those natural remedies? Now, as I already mentioned, begin by cleaning up the diet and cutting out gluten and dairy. This can help tremendously with constipation and might make it so no other strategy is needed. And I just want to say also, constipation exacerbates ADHD symptoms like dramatically. The gut brain connection is huge. And so if your kid is constipated and they've got ADHD, then you can definitely help some of those ADHD symptoms by getting to the root cause of the constipation. Now, completely that was just a sidetrack, but I recently shared a YouTube video of a mum who is part of this group. We love you, Dara. If you're watching, she had the most amazing success with her daughter's constipation and ADHD symptoms as well. But today we're talking about constipation. And it all started with changing her daughter's diet. Now, for Dara's daughter, the constipation had been a regular issue going on and off of Miralax, trying to get it under control, but never getting to the bottom of what was causing the issue. Thankfully, when they worked with us and got that diet cleaned up and we got to the root cause of what the constipation was going on with lab testing and supplements, they saw amazing improvements and the constipation resolved itself. So that is always the first go-to step. Clean up the diet, get rid of inflammatory foods, and obviously, checking what's the root cause. Now, tip number 2, magnesium citrate. It has been shown to improve constipation as well. I'll pop a link to my favorite brand in the comments as well. Tip number 3 is castor oil packs, and they can be really, really helpful. You can start with 1 hour per day and increase to the idea of wearing it overnight. I had one family that I was working with whose daughter basically had never really pooped normally. And she would go 5 to 6 days. She'd go once every 5 to 6 days and nothing worked, like absolutely nothing. All the strategies, all the medication, nothing worked. And it wasn't until we started her using a castor oil pack did all of a sudden it helped her constipation. Now I'm going to pop the link to my favorite one of these into the comments section as well. So look out for that. Number 4 is increase water intake. If you haven't already tried increasing the water intake, definitely do this as it can be really, really helpful. And I'll tell you, like a lot of kids out there, they may not necessarily love drinking water, but why don't you infuse it with fruit? So you can put watermelon and mint in there, infuse it overnight, and it gives a really nice flavor. You can put strawberry, you can put cucumber. There are so many things you can infuse it with. Now, tip number 5 is increase exercise. Getting the body moving can also be really, really helpful in getting the bowels moving. And Brenda's saying, we used to have horrible constipation issues, my son. Fruit and psyllium husk help so much. Yes, Brenda, that is so spot on. That's fantastic that you were able to help. Now, finally, if magnesium citrate, castor oil packs, and these other natural strategies don't work, I often suggest something called oxy powder. It's a great natural way to get those bowels moving. I'll also pop my favorite brand of this into the comments as well. Now, I definitely recommend, well, I can't recommend you this because I'm not working with you, but I would definitely suggest that you stay away from Miralax if you can. Give these natural remedies a try and let me know how you go. Now, as always, if you're concerned about constipation, if it's really bad, you definitely want to check in with your doctor because it really is important to get those bowels moving. And, we don't want it all stuck in there. You think about all those toxins floating around in the body, you can see how they can exacerbate ADHD symptoms. But, getting the root cause is the key. If constipation is part of your life or your child's life, there are so many things you can do. Like Dara, changing the diet might be enough to give you significant relief. But if that alone doesn't do it, try some of these other tips in this post and let me know how you go. Now, one other thing, as I mentioned earlier with Dara, sometimes there might be those hidden underlying stresses causing the constipation that diet alone and some of these natural strategies can't correct. That's when functional lab testing can be beneficial. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of lab testing right now, but I will also pop a link to a video I did on that particular topic in the comments. So check that out if you're curious. Now, if you've got any questions, or Amanda's saying, my son has had severe constipation since birth and nothing has worked. He won't go to the potty because of it. Amanda, you definitely want to get to the root cause of that. Try some of these natural strategies. If they don't work, maybe check out my lab testing video, and you can let me know if you've got any questions. Send me a PM or just respond in this post. But guys, if you've got any other questions, pop them in the comments. I'll come back around and answer them after this finish, and keep a lookout for those links after this live's over. But I hope this answers all of your questions for today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Now I've got to work out how to stop this new software. Bye, everyone.